And welcome back. Today, the one thing we can all do right now to improve our financial future.
Matthew Holbrook is a financial and insurance expert with Country Financial. He's here with a simple step-by-step guide to money security as well as growth. Always great to see you.
Easy,
Nice to see you guys again. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all it takes. There you go.
You're going to be rich at the end of this.
Yeah, perfect.
But I like your message because this applies to single people. It applies to people who are watching who are stay-at-home moms. It applies to those of us who are working, people close to retirement, people at retirement. There's something that we can all do to improve and make things better. So there's probably not just any one thing, but the one thing you feel like we could all do right now to put ourselves in a better position.
Yeah, I think the number one thing you can do is just have a plan. As easy as that sounds, it is actually more difficult because there's a lot of moving parts with retirement. And just sit down, figure out where you should put the money, figure out how much. Even if you put a percentage, that's probably the easiest thing I can tell people to do. Start with 10% and just put it in another account. That is the easiest way to start and actually grow something and see something that you accomplished.
Well, and when you talk about creating a budget, so you say creating a budget is based on your total take-home money, not your gross money.
Correct.
So when you're looking at these percentages, you're basing it on what you're actually taking home.
Yep. So when you get those paychecks, whatever actually is put into your bank account, use those numbers. Don't use the other numbers, otherwise it's going to be a little tougher. Yeah.
Okay, so
after
your rule,
taxes.
Yeah, your rule is 50, 30, 20. And what do those things apply to?
Yeah, so 50%, put that into fixed income. Those are fixed expenses. Those are things like mortgages, insurance, things that every month you're going to have to pay regardless of what happens.
Bills,
exactly.
all that kind of stuff.
All those things. The second one is discretionary expenses. Those are things that you can control. You can reel them back in. Things like restaurants, things like nightlife, going out, more expenses like that.
Clothes,
hair,
hair,
I mean, it's anything that you know you can put money into or reel it back, everything you can think of. And then the last part, the 20%, that is for just retirement and savings. So try to put 20% just into savings vehicles, education, things like that, retirement, anything for those numbers. So again, it's 50%. 30%, 20%.
Okay, and that includes like your 401k or any investments, things like that.
Correct.
Is that 20%?
Correct. Yep. So for that, and I have an Excel spreadsheet. I actually worked on that yesterday too, where I was doing my own just to kind of get a feel for it. And if you guys do want the Excel spreadsheet, I can email that to you guys. No problem.
That's helpful.
That's awesome. Because budgets are daunting. They don't sound fun.
No, not at all. But it's you can either do it or you can just wait until retirement and then say, well, I wish I would have budgeted. Yes.
Yeah, out of luck. You say contribute to an emergency fund. A lot of people think it's a good idea. Again, you're going to use numbers that apply to the net, not your gross salary,
correct,
but what you're actually putting in your bank account or what you get after taxes. What's your guide in terms of the emergency fund?
Emergency fund, I like people to put 3 to 4% in there. So that's just kind of a rainy day fund. Things come up, say a water heater goes, or if you're like me with that windstorm that we had, the umbrella blew off the deck that we have, and there's a section of my deck missing right now, so I know I have to pay for that. So that's going to come out of the rainy day fund for us.
Good thing you didn't park right below that, because isn't your garage right below your deck?
It's right.
I've been there. Good thing that then wasn't through your windshield,
too. Yeah, that would have just been.
You need a big emergency fund for that.
Exactly.
And start saving now, you say, even if it's small. I remember I didn't grow up in a family that talked about finances or investing or money, but oftentimes a boyfriend or their family did with me. And I remember them saying the sooner you can start, even if it's just a few dollars, it adds up more as you get older. So even small amounts matter, right?
Exactly. So the term is time value of money. Just the more years you have to grow, the more it can kind of mature and turn into a big number that you can use at retirement, as opposed to trying to say, okay, last 10 years of income here, I'm going to try to sock that away for retirement. You have to put way too much money in there. It's a little daunting.
It doesn't compound the same way.
Exactly.
Are you a fan of life insurance?
I am, and it's sadly not enough people do have that. If I can just whip out some figures here, 60% of people do have it, but of that 60%, only 40% actually have a plan that they purchase with somebody like me. A lot of people depend on things like group life insurance through their work, but 2 times your income, 3 times your income, that's not really a lot when you break it down.
Yeah, because especially as you look up at having children, their education, the home that they live in, you know, covering, you know, all those different expenses, that it can be very important. Real quick, your Dime life insurance example.
Yeah, for that, that's if you want to just grab a piece of paper and kind of fill this out. Dime is a good thing that you can write. So D, just how much for death, for a funeral, things like that, between 15 and 20,000. I, that's your income. So take however many years you want that income to go, multiply it by your salary. So for example, say you make $50,000 a year and you're 35, multiply that by 30, take that number. Then M, that's your mortgage. So say you have a $250,000 mortgage. You'd want to have that taken care of. And then E, that's for education, how much money you'd want to have for the kids. So once you see what that number is, that actually adds up to about $2 million using the examples I gave. So a lot of people, when you look at your group life insurance you have through work, which again,
isn't even close to that.
Maybe 150,000.
Yeah.
So if you're married where one person does pass away, well, then that person's going to have a pretty rough road ahead of them.
Absolutely. Really helpful to make sure the family's taken care of and the kids. Matthew Holbrook, here's how you can contact him. He's right in Shorewood, right up the street from the station. 414-332-2137 is the number to reach him. It's countryfinancial.com/Matthew.Holbrook. And then he said he'll email you that budget sheet as well.
Exactly.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great to talk to you. Thank you.